What's up guys, welcome to your 9th 3DsMax tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be going over groups and also what these two little buttons right here mean, link and unlink. So let's go ahead, and the first thing that I'm going to create is a group of just basic objects. Let's go ahead and create a group of boxes. So I'll make one big one and a couple small ones. 4 is enough. Looks pretty good. So what a group is, it pretty much allows you to group objects together so you can select and transform them all in the same way. So in order to select all the objects, go ahead and click select objects and highlight them all, and now you can go up to group and press group. So group, and now you can give it a name like boxes, even though the name doesn't really matter. And now you can see, instead of individual white spaces around them, you get this huge white bracket around the whole group. So this way, if you go into your transformation tools, you can move the entire objects as a group in any direction or any transformation. So another thing that you usually want to do is, let's go ahead and ungroup this. So with the entire group selected, click group. Actually, before I ungroup it, and to do that you need to do ungroup. Sometimes you want to you say, alright, this entire group is good, but I wish this box right here was turned a little bit, and then the group would be good. Well, if you want to edit one of the items in a group, you can't just click one of the items and edit it, or else it selects the whole group. What you need to do is click group, open, and this gives you access with the pink brackets that change from white to pink. This gives you access to the individual elements. So now you can go ahead like that and see, do whatever you want to it, turn it a little bit, and then what you need to do is do group close. So it pretty much opens it for adjusting, or closes the group for transformations. So now with that, when you click group close, you can go ahead and edit your entire group again, and with your new transformations. So anytime you want to edit one element, remember group open, then when you're done editing it, group close, and then you still got your group again. So with that, let's go ahead and ungroup our group, and with your group selected, go ahead and press group ungroup, and now each of them are individual elements again, just like that. But sometimes you have a group like this, and let's go ahead and group these two items using group, and we'll just name it group 1 by default. These two items are grouped together, but say you have another item like this one that you want to add to the group. So what you would do is press the item you want to add, pick group, attach, and then click the group you want to add it to. And now those three items are in a group just like that. So again, anytime you want to add an item to the group, click the item, group, attach. So let's go ahead and ungroup all of these, group, ungroup, and now we got 4 individual elements just like we had before. Now I can go on to my next section, which is linking and unlinking. Now what linking does is it makes child and parents, and if you worked with like editing before, you probably know what this is, but child objects are pretty much linked to the parent objects, and whenever you move a parent, the child moves with it. But whenever you move a child, it moves on its own, separate from the parent. So if you move a child, the child and parent both move. Or excuse me, if you move a parent, the parent and child both move. But if you move only a child, then child moves independently. So once I show you guys, you'll understand. So in order to make child and parents, what you need to do is link objects together. So let's go ahead and select in the link. Click that button right up there, and go ahead and click an object you want to be the child, and I'll have the parent be the big one and the child will be the 3 small ones. So now you can go ahead, click an object, and while it's held down still, while your button is held down, drag it to the parent, and then once you're at your parent, let go, and as you can see, it will flash once and then it'll unflash, and that's how you know that it's a parent. So now what can you do with your parent? Well, whenever you do something like move and rotate your parent, the child will move with it. But a cool thing about this is whenever you move the child, it'll move independently on its own. So you can move this over here, and then when you move the parent again, the parent will move with the child. So again, you can move the child independently of its parent. It can do whatever it wants. It's a kid. It's like a teenage adolescent, rebellious, but this parent is strict. It makes the child follow its rules. Nice conflicting analogy there. So again, not again, I guess this is the first time that I said this, but anytime you want to get rid of this, just go ahead and double click any of the parent, or you can double click any of the children, or I guess it's only the parent, and you can go ahead and click this unlink selection, and that'll unlink the selection. So now you see, once you click unlink, it unlinks the hierarchy. So again, to create a parent with a child, click the link, click the child, and then link it to the parent by dragging, and then it has a parent. And you can do this for all of these if you want. And link. So now if we want to visually view our hierarchy, let's go ahead and do this. Click away from your hierarchy and press H to get the select by name button. Now if you expand this, you can see that box 1, which is the mom, or excuse me, the parent, is the parent of all these other boxes. So again, if you want to get to that, press H, and then you can see. And if you can't see it, press display children, and that'll get you to it. So it's probably this by default, and if you want to view the hierarchy, click display children, and then that way you can see the parent and all of its children. So this is another way you can visually edit them instead of with a little pick whip thing. So that's that for this tutorial. I'm done talking about parents and children for now, until the next tutorial, that is. Or maybe I'll be talking about something else. Who knows? I guess you're going to have to wait and see. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel. Come on, do it. Seriously. Do it. Click it. And I guess I will see you next tutorial. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. What's up guys, welcome to your 10th 3DsMax tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be talking to you guys about editable objects and sub-objects. Now we already created one type of object, and let's go ahead and let me demonstrate that, just like a basic sphere or something. And what these basic geometric objects are called, they're called parametric objects, and that's all we've been creating so far. So if you're wondering why they're called this, well, if you go in this modify panel, how you edit these objects is basically through parameters like radius or segments, hemisphere, slices, but it doesn't really give you a lot of control over each one of the individual points like this one up here. We can't really grab one of these points and stretch it out, not with parametric objects at least. If we want to do that and have precise control over each one of these points, what we need to do is convert this object to an editable object. And to do that, what you need to do is select your object. So go ahead and select it, right click it, and I just want to tell you this, I cannot show you guys how to do this because when I right click, my screen recorder will shut off for some reason. So I'm just going to tell you guys how to do this, and what you need to do is select your object, right click it, then when you right click it, there's going to be a menu. Click convert to, and then click convert to editable mesh. So again, right click, convert to editable mesh. And again, I can't do it or my screen recorder will shut off, so I'll pause this and I'll catch up with you in a second. Alright, so I just right clicked it, press converted, and converted to editable mesh. Sorry I had to pause it, sorry you couldn't see, but hey, that's what you get. And as you can see, instead of your parameters under your modify panel, this all changes to your editable parameter, or not parameters, editable rollouts instead. So instead of parameters, you have selection, soft selection, and all these things. Well, the first thing I want to show you guys is this sub object. So under editable mesh in your drop down list, you have all these sub objects right here. And what sub objects are pretty much the pieces that make up your object or model. And for example, if you click vertex, you can see all the vertexes that make up your model. If you can see edges, you see all the edges that make it up. So let's go ahead and we're going to be working with the vertexes of this since it's the most apparent one on a sphere. And before I do that, I want to go over something called normals. So go down here and click show normals, and probably need to get your object selected. And now when you click show normals and select your object, you see all of these lines popping out of your sphere. What normals are is whenever you're working in editing and editable mode, you can sometimes get twisted up and you can't really tell what side's the face and what side's the back. So what normals do is they show you what side the face is. So these normals are lines that always point away from the face. So if you don't see a line, you don't see the face. And these lines, they don't get rendered out. So if you want to work with them and then render it out, you won't see it in your final. But I usually work with them off unless I get twisted up. So that's a real quick tutorial. So now that we're working with vertexes, we can see all the vertexes of our element. So we can edit each of these vertexes just like we would any other, part of our element. So let's go ahead and click like select and move tool or something, and we can go ahead and grab a vertex and move it up just like that. So again, just like I said, instead of having parameters to the whole thing, we can work with these individual points just like that. And we can anything that we could do before, we can do these individual points. And that brings me to my next, click away from that, you can leave that pointing up if you want. So that brings me to my next topic, and that is what is called soft selection. You can see soft selection over here, and it's really useful when you're working with individual points. So let me actually spin this around so we can work with the other side. What soft selection does is it allow you to work with surrounding points. So instead of just working with a vertex and getting it pointy all the time, it gives you a more natural way of working with points. So let's go ahead and use soft selection, and I'll tell you guys what this means. The edge distance is pretty much the range of what you're going to be working with. So go ahead and move that up to, actually we probably need to select something first. Move that up to like 2, 3, probably like 5 or something. And what this does is it gives you 5 vertexes away from the center vertex. So that's the area that's going to be affected. The fall off we don't really need to know. The fall off is pretty much the region, spherical, and the pinch is pretty much, you can see here, let me go ahead and apply a transformation real quick. And as you can see, instead of just a huge whompin' tompin' point, we get this nice, more natural pull out with the soft selection. So we can go ahead and move this selection around, and now that you see what soft selection is, instead of just working with a single vertex, let me see if I get a good angle right there. Now I can go ahead and explain the rest of these parameters. The pinch, and I guess it's easier just to look at this little chart right here. This chart is a preview of what your soft selection is going to do. The pinch is pretty much the pointiness of your soft selection. So if we increase the pinch, it'll increase the pointiness. Let's bring that back down to 0. And the bubble is the roundness. So if we increase the bubble, it increases the roundness. So let's go ahead and bring that back down to 0. And now let's work one with a high pinch. So I'm going to make a pointy, probably somewhere about 71 right there. And now let's go ahead and pull out one with a pinch. So go ahead and select a vertex and pull out one, and as you can see, this one is a lot more pinched than the other one. So that is pretty much why soft selection is useful. So again, instead of working with individual points, you can work with soft selection and select a range of vertexes or points, and this gives you a more natural way of working with objects. Again, pinch is the pointiness, bubble is the roundness, and I guess that's it for this tutorial. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned a little bit about subobjects and how you can use them to edit the fine points of your objects. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.